sitting on the coffee table with her feet kicked up on the sofa. She was probably already on her cell phone looking for her next date. From the start, they had agreed to an open relationship. Vanessa had suggested it, but Joy didn't argue. Grocery shopping on Sunday afternoon was better with her company. She was even nicer company naked in bed on Saturday night. The only hint that she wanted more from the relationship came the day Joy told her she was leaving. Vanessa had argued, almost persuasively, that there was no reason to break up in an open relationship. After a week of sulking, Vanessa asked to sublet the one-bedroom apartment and bought pots to plant flowers on the balcony. She hung around while Joy packed and gushed about her new view of the park. Joy's old view. Then she insisted Joy keep a key. By the last kiss, Joy was less certain than ever that they needed to break up. Joy closed her eyes. She pushed away the thought of getting out of the car to ring her old doorbell. It was too late. She turned up the volume of the radio and pulled out of the parking space. The curvy silhouette had disappeared. The drive to Reseda was over 5 hours, 6 with traffic. She'd lose her favorite station before she reached Santa Rosa. Everything north of that was tainted with static or country the closer she got to home. Home. She repeated the word only because the hollowness of it reminded her of murmuring "Om" over and over again. She didn't go to yoga in search of enlightenment, but the Om had struck a chord. She'd told Vanessa that she was moving home, but the house where she'd grown up in Reseda had sold a month after the funeral. Her mom was renting a cramped townhouse that didn't feel like home. Everything familiar was in storage or donated to Goodwill. The town itself, she decided, was home. It was also the last place she wanted to go. Joy turned her attention to the cars lining up to cross the bridge. She wouldn't miss the city's traffic. Reseda had a small downtown business district near the waterfront, but all of the housing was north of downtown, past the old lumber yards and far enough from the fish processing warehouses to escape the stench. Joy pulled off the highway one exit before her mom's. She made a loop through downtown to check in on her old favorite haunts. Most of the buildings were unchanged, but several storefronts had switched hands. Handlebar toys with the rusty tricycle propping open the front door, and BJ's ice cream remained as bookends on the main drag. Ranger Clothing and Collier's Drugstore had both closed, replaced respectively with a different clothing store and a real estate office. Joy slowed in front of Cake Town Donuts when the car in front of her tried to parallel park. Cake Town's neon D no longer lit up, so the sign in the window now flashed, "O-Nuts." Waits Bridge was a shortcut from downtown to the old neighborhood where she'd grown up, and her mom's townhome complex was just beyond that. She drove through her old neighborhood, past her old high school, now trimmed in blue instead of green, and then had to stop at a red light at the intersection for the community pool. There was a new statue of a whale's fin in front of the pool's parking lot. The fin, crusted with barnacles and draped with algae, jutted 10 feet above a granite slab cut to resemble a cresting wave. To the left of the towering fin was the sign for the pool. 18 years later, and the sign was unchanged. She'd gotten the job of painting the bubble letters, Reseda Community Pool. The paint was chipped now and in sore need of a touch-up. The sign seemed to mock her. Of course, she'd come back to Reseda. No matter how many years had passed, the town had waited for her. Joy stared at the sign long enough to miss the light turning to green. The car behind her honked, and she stepped on the gas. 18 years ago. Joy heard the door creak and then familiar footsteps. She didn't look up to see who had come in. For as long as she could remember, she'd made a game of trying to guess people by the sound of their footsteps. This one was easy. Kelsey was the only lifeguard who shuffled in flip-flops, and shift change was every 30 minutes. In the 2 years that they'd guarded together, Kelsey had never been late. This time, she was 1 minute early. Did the mama...